If you keep putting off your work, even though you know exactly what you should do, the problem might not be laziness at all. There's something happening inside your brain at that very moment, something that has nothing to do with your will, and we will discover it together during this video. By the end of this video, you will never look at procrastination the same way again. You will understand why blaming yourself doesn't solve the problem, but makes it worse. This is important because many people spend years fighting themselves instead of understanding what is really going on in their minds. But the real reason that researchers in psychology have discovered is completely different, and we will get to it shortly. Imagine a writer who has an article due in 3 days. She knows exactly what she wants to write. She sits in front of the screen, opens the file, then closes it. She opens another application. She cleans her desk. She arranges her pens. 2 hours later, she hasn't written a single word. She's not stupid, she's not lazy, and she knows that time is passing. So if she knows what to do, why doesn't she do it? For decades, procrastination has been viewed as a time management problem. But recent research in psychology suggests something quite different. Procrastination is a problem of regulating emotions, not time management. Researcher Piers Steele, one of the most prominent academics on the subject, describes procrastination as the irrational postponement of a task despite the expectation that this postponement will make things worse. The key here is the word irrational. We know that postponing will harm us, yet we do it. Researcher Sirois and her colleagues developed an idea known as the mood regulation theory of procrastination. The idea is simple. When you are faced with a task that causes you a negative feeling, anxiety, boredom, fear of failure, your mind looks for a quick way to improve your mood at that particular moment. And the easiest way is to run away from the task itself. You're not putting off the work, you are running away from the feeling associated with the work. Another explanation comes from behavioral neuroscience. Your brain treats your future self as if it were a completely different person. Research in this area uses brain imaging to show that thinking about your future self activates brain regions similar to thinking about someone else, not like thinking about yourself now. This means that part of you sees that you in 3 days is someone else's problem, not yours. Many people think that procrastination is linked to a fear of failure, but the picture is more accurate than that. Research in this field indicates that procrastination is often linked to perfectionism, specifically to the fear that your performance or your value as a person will be judged by the outcome of the work. If you haven't started the task, you can't be judged yet. Postponement becomes a psychological way of protecting oneself from potential judgment. When you put off a task, you feel guilty. This guilt is unpleasant, so your mind seeks more escape to alleviate this new negative feeling. The result, a vicious cycle of procrastination, guilt, and more procrastination. Research in this area links high levels of self-blame with an increased likelihood of procrastination later on, while people who treat themselves with compassion after procrastination are less likely to repeat the same pattern. First, instead of asking yourself, "How do I accomplish the task?" ask yourself, "What feeling am I avoiding right now?" This question redirects your attention from avoidance to conscious confrontation, a process known psychologically as cognitive reappraisal. Second, break the task down into very small steps. The psychological reason is that a large task increases the associated anxiety, while it reduces that anxiety to level your mind handle without avoidance. Third, treat yourself with compassion after each procrastination, instead of self-criticism. Research indicates that self-compassion reduces the negative cycle between guilt and procrastination, while blame fuels it. Fourth, make your future self present and tangible, such as writing a short letter to your future self, as this reduces the feeling that it is a stranger to you. Remember the writer who sat in front of a blank screen. She wasn't lazy. She was running away from a feeling, resisting a mental image of a future self that seemed alien to her. And you, the next time you put off a task, ask yourself, what feeling am I avoiding right now? Because the answer to this question may be the most important step toward real change. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel to receive more episodes about behavioral psychology, and tell me in the comments, What task are you putting off right now? And what is the real feeling behind it?